When Gunless entered the competitive scene in Infinite Warfare, he was one of the top players with a bright future ahead. Now, nearly a decade later, Gunless is struggling to find a spot in the CDL, competing in the Challenger circuit throughout Black Ops 6. So how did one of the most promising players in the CWL become a free agent, and is there any chance he can return to the top? Gunless grew up near Toronto, Canada, where he discovered his love for gaming early on. He had a rough childhood, but Call of Duty was his escape, and he realized he was extremely good at the game. After years of playing for fun, he started making connections with competitive players during Advanced Warfare, going into Black Ops 3 before landing a spot on Panda Gaming in January 2016. His dad helped him pay for the travel to his first ever LAN event in South Carolina just 1 month later, and he used this opportunity to the fullest. Despite some unfortunate circumstances at the event, Gunless and his team placed in the top 16. He didn't find any real success through Black Ops 3 as far as placements go, but he still proved his individual skill was there, catching the attention of players like Parasite and eventually the twins Arcides and Pristini just in time for the biggest season of his career. At the start of Infinite Warfare, Gunless decided to team with the rising talent Arcides and Pristinis on Gosu Crew. After a strong showing at CWL Las Vegas, they signed with E United, giving them their real first chance to prove themselves. They began the year competing in online tournaments and performed very well, winning a couple against top pro players. After these online tournaments, many people didn't think they could replicate these performances on LAN ahead of the Atlanta Open in February 2017. What many people didn't know at the time was that Gunless went into the Atlanta event with $30 to his name, and this tournament meant everything to him. A win at this event could change not only his but his teammates' lives forever. They made it through group play easily before falling 0-2 against Splice in the bracket. Gunless knew what was on the line, and E United went nuclear, dismantling Splice and getting a reverse sweep to push them forward in the tournament. That's all the confidence that they needed, and they met one of the best teams in the game, Optic Gaming, in the grand finals, looking to cap off their tournament run. Optic won the first best of 5, but Gunless proved that he competed at his best when the pressure was on. With the crowd completely against them, E United sent the green wall packing, winning the MVP of the event in the process.
See what he can do here, trying to continue to deal with the pressure. Another one to get tacked on, 25 from the Scarab. More streaks he can build towards as now he's on point. You can see how accurate he can be when he's feeling it. They're looking for him at Lemon. He wins another one. 6th streak, 7th in front. On a 7th streak, he is a wrecking ball.
This event alone put the entire community on notice, and within a few more events, Gunless was considered a top 5 player in the game. Following this new exposure, teams started showing interest in Gunless, and he believed that he would benefit more by joining a different team after losing in Dallas during a historic grand finals.
Down by basically double at this point, more than that. Aches needs to show up if they want a search and destroy game 5.
Remember, folks. Okay,
or just go unplug Gunless's controller. Someone needs to stop this man.
Okay,
After a poor showing at Stage 1 playoffs, inner turmoil started to form with the team, and Gunless clearly wanted out. He claimed the buyout for his contract was a staggering $100,000, and in a public statement, he said he wanted to leave E United, but was being held in what he called contract jail, claiming that E United owners were not giving him a fair opportunity to leave. The organization claimed that Gunless was not benched, but instead demanding to be moved and refusing to practice with the team. This public feud established the narrative of Gunless as disruptive and difficult, which is a reputation that would follow him for years and significantly impact future roster decisions. Ultimately, he was traded to FaZe Clan in a highly publicized move that saw veteran Clayster join E United. Naturally, the players on E United felt betrayed. He had just come up with these guys, and now he was dipping on them after one bad performance, and Pristini made his feelings known.
Me and him are fine now, but it was really terrible to deal with. Like, I was ready to fight the dude if I ever saw him again. The people he came up with, he ditched after one bad event.
But now on FaZe, Gunless was looking to find more success in a prestigious organization. His time with FaZe Clan was short-lived, but he still proved to be an exceptional player. FaZe placed in the top 4 during Stage 2, top 6 at Stage 2 playoffs, and at their first ever CWL champs, they placed top 6 again. Gunless was addicted to the feeling of winning at the highest level and dedicated himself to becoming the best player possible. He left FaZe after the IW season in search of more trophies and began putting in 14-hour days. He was grinding, playing 8s, tournaments, anything he could do to become better than his opponents. During World War II, he joined Echo Fox with talented players looking to replicate his early success. But he didn't find any success with Echo Fox, who only gave him one tournament to prove his worth before being dropped on Christmas Eve.
Actually got dropped on Christmas Eve. They
texted me this, and I can't believe this till this day, like thinking about it now. I got a text message that said, "We need to talk," frowny face.
He immediately got on the phone exploring new opportunities until he got in contact with Looney and joined Rise Nation 1 week later. The team was getting better with each series, and Gunless was becoming an incredible flex player, just in time for CWL Atlanta in 2018. Rise made a stunning run through the bracket, and 13 months after winning his first event, Gunless was back on the podium lifting another trophy. What made this even crazier is that he dropped a 50 bomb in the grand finals against Red Reserve for the first time since the Advanced Warfare season. They struggled for a few events before finding more success at the Seattle Open, now with Slasher on their team. They made another incredible bracket run to lift their second trophy of the season, and it didn't stop there. Just 2 months later, Gunless led his team to another victory at CWL Anaheim. On top of that, he was named a CWL All-Star, being considered one of the top players in the game.
Sweet. Back. Now he's got to reposition and turn. Able to get 2. Gunless goes big. Still worried about top. Okay, all 3. I was worried that, maybe they're going to make that work because, he's not looking front. They're all hitting from the same side. But as soon as Gunless positioned, he makes these 3 kills look easy.
Once there's no name.
Rise had an incredible run for a couple months in 2018, but the team started to fall apart after this event. Gunless and Rise didn't find any more success through the rest of World War II, placing 16th at CWL Champs, a sad conclusion to an otherwise incredible season.
Rise are synth packing.
Heading into the Black Ops 4 season, CoD transitioned to 5v5, and Gunless found a solid squad with Slacked, John, Formal, and Classic on Luminosity. Gunless and LG struggled at the beginning of the season, and he was not playing as well as he previously did. They were still a competitive team, earning a top 4 at CWL Vegas before shocking everyone in March of 2019. At Fort Worth, Luminosity dominated the winners bracket, making a run all the way to the grand finals, where they eventually beat Splice.
They only need 2 seconds. That may do it. There's 1 player remaining. He is dead. And there's the championship.
Gunless was the catalyst for their success, and he hoisted another MVP trophy with an insane 1.27 KD throughout the tournament. Everyone was shocked to see Gunless winning over multiple titles, given his history of frequent team changes and hardships throughout his career. By this point, some were calling him a top 5 most talented player of all time. His rise in just a few years was incredible, but their glory did not last long, and everything went downhill following this event. After a poor placement in London, Gunless seemingly gave up on his team, failing to show up for scrims, and LG fell in the Pro League with a terrible record. Once again, internal turmoil became too much before LG decided to bench Gunless. It was so bad that they were forced to play with their coach Ricky, and Gunless moved on to Envy for the rest of the Black Ops 4 season. Envy failed to qualify for the Pro League and had an underwhelming 16th place finish at the final CWL Champs. With 8 team changes in 4 years, Gunless's future Call of Duty career was in question, raising doubts about whether he was truly a good teammate. But his skill was undeniable, and he was good enough for Formal to give him another shot just in time for the franchise Call of Duty League.
Major now up over 100 points. Let's get to an Astro Gaming listening with Luminosity.
I'm actually 41.
I'm roasted, yeah, I know.
Dude, three there. There's 2 more, Pierce. Oh my god, baby!
There's Sandor.
I pulled streaks! I pulled streaks!
Get that ult time, Pierce.
Oh my god! What's going on?
Gunless made the move to Chicago Huntsmen, a roster stacked with legendary talent that was immediately dubbed a super team. The roster featuring Scump, Formal, Envoy, and his former teammate Arcides created immense hype and expectations. After a couple weeks of practice, the Huntsmen came into launch weekend as one of the top teams in the game, and Gunless looked to be back in form for a short time. They went on to win week 2 of CDL London, with Gunless getting an incredible clutch along the way.
Did he hop off it? He did hop off it for a second though. He's right back on it. Get up there. Go. He's got to go. He got to do it. Can he get there in time? Can he get there in time? I think he got it. Oh, he got the kill. I thought the defuse was in.
It looked like he was back, but just as in the previous years, this initial high was followed by a downward spiral for the rest of his time with Chicago. They fell to top 4 in Atlanta, and then top 4 again in Dallas, with cracks beginning to form in the roster. The team was constantly arguing during scrims, and the final straw was at their home event, where they fell to top 4 once again. Dallas Empire swept them, and Gunless was benched shortly after this event, and he was not too happy about it. While his decline was pretty fast through the Modern Warfare season, he still managed to find a spot back in the CDO on Seattle Surge for the Cold War season with some of his former teammates throughout the years. But this proved to be the beginning of the end. It was one of the worst seasons of his career, as Seattle Surge were one of, if not the worst team in the game for a majority of the season, with their best placement being a top 6 at Major 5. Octane constantly reminisces about his time with Seattle Surge, and he does not think too fondly of it, as they struggled throughout the entire season. They failed to qualify for CDL champs, and Gunless joined another low-tier team.
I've been preparing for 6 to 8 months. Excuse my French, I am pissed off.
For the Vanguard season. Now on Los Angeles Guerrillas with Slasher, Asim, and Hook, they too became one of the worst teams in the game, and Gunless was struggling to find individual success along the way. The pinnacle of his misfortune came during this time with the Guerrillas. He was benched from the team due to health problems, which he elaborated on in a Twitter post. It was honestly a really unfortunate situation for him, and shortly after his departure, the team went on to win a major championship without him. He was brought back for a short time, but his health problems opened the door for Spart to permanently take his spot. This moment became an ultimate what if of his career, a defining symbol of bad timing and unfortunate circumstances.
To Gunless. Best of luck, Pierce. Best of luck.
Yeah, this was not going to be easy, but Gunless does find the first. He spots the second as well and makes it into an immediate 1v1. The bomb is still going to be down in towards bottom church.
Pierce, my bad. I knew that you had it in you, but oh, Capsule. He just turns around, and there we have it, a 1v3.
This caused Gunless to spend the Modern Warfare 2 season trying to rebuild his career in the Challenger circuit. He spent the first half of the season with underwhelming performances before making his first Challengers Grand Finals with Convoy in March 2023. He ultimately lost his Grand Finals, but was dedicated during his time in the pit. With Pristini, Rex, and Nero, they won the NA Challengers Cup number 12 before failing to make Challengers champs. But Gunless didn't give up just yet and gave it another go in Modern Warfare 3. It was during this season that Gunless saw a small resurgence in his hopes of getting back into the Pro League. After a few early tournament wins, Gunless found a spot on Lure just in time for the Miami Challengers Open in March 2024. I actually went to this event and got a chance to talk to him for a short time, which was actually pretty cool. And it's even cooler that they went on to win the entire tournament and one of the most insane reverse sweeps that I've ever seen.
One round, one set of kills to crown our champions.
This is a lot of information here for the defense. Classic, almost able to tally first blood. Nade cooked. Does land. Oh my goodness, it must have bounced off a pillar. Joe will fall.
It's a big first blood out of Classic. He's done it every time now, and FaZe Black have hit the rotation through top mid. Dak is able to find the second. It's a 4v2.
Can they survive through this 2v4 situation? Gunless gets a read on Brack. Resets. Rex over the top. Clean shots. What a bait that is. But now Dak trying to follow up. Red Dot chasing. Oh, he's weak though. Pistols are out. Kills not through yet. No one's out for the defuse, but Brack gets here in time. Now it's just down to one. Rex dancing with 04, and it's the pistol to secure it. Plenty of time for the defuse. Gold is it.
After winning in Miami, this caught the attention of everyone in the CDL. This is also the Challengers event that got 04 into the Pro League, and Gunless was given another chance to enter the Pro League. After trialing for Minnesota Rocker, Standy and Gunless received starting roles on the roster in an effort to turn their underwhelming season around. The community was optimistic about this change, and it was a chance to secure a spot in the league for the next season. He demonstrated that he still possessed skill comparable to previous years, but the roster construction on Rocker was not effective. Aside from an entertaining beef with Beans, the rest of the season did not stand out in any significant way. They finished last at Major 3 and last in Major 4 before failing to qualify for CDL champs in 2024. He was kind of put into a difficult spot on Rocker, and it was just an unfortunate situation, but at least he got a spot back in the Pro League, and people were happy to see that. Gunless was unable to find a roster spot for the Black Ops 6 season and spent the entire year in Challengers. While he was still competing in Challengers, he's also been working on building his Twitch following, where he's still really consistent and streams to this day. He played his most recent event about 2 weeks ago during the CWL Esports Challenge on Omit, where he placed second on LAN. I'm also kind of surprised that he didn't get a spot for the Esports World Cup, but either way, it seems that he's still trying to earn a spot in the league and remains involved in the scene, but no one truly knows what's next for Gunless. The career of Gunless is a powerful and complex story of what could have been. His rise during the CWL era was pretty insane, being considered one of the best players in the game for a time, but his downfall was not due to a single simple issue, but rather a combination of extraordinary talent, a tough professional reputation, and a series of unfortunate circumstances. While he continues to grind in the amateur circuit and build his brand as a streamer, his career will be defined not just by the championships he won, but by the controversy, rivalries, and setbacks along the way. Only time will tell if Gunless can revive his Call of Duty career, but in the meantime, I wish him the best on whatever he does going forward. So what do you guys think about Gunless's Call of Duty career? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, check out my recent video where I talked about Pred's rise in the Call of Duty League. If you enjoyed this one, you gotta check that one out. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace.